Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gaming with Scott. We are at an impromptu interview here with...
Neutral Nymph.
Neutral Nymph. Very good. Fair enough. And what do you do with BarFleet?
I have done a lot of different things. I was the executive officer of the ship for 5 years. I am no longer in that role. I am part of what we call our Captain's Council, which means I just show up and help out where I can be helpful. I've been involved with the Indecent for about a decade now.
Fantastic. That's impressive. I like that a lot.
So what you're saying is you're nerd royalty.
Is that what you're saying?
I am not saying that.
Are you nerd royalty?
I am not saying that. No, I am indeed saying
that.
Can we say it about you?
More regal.
You can say whatever you like about me, and people do. So
that's fantastic.
I have learned that it does not benefit me to attempt to control what other people say about me.
Oh, she is wise.
That's like straight out of the mouth of Elizabeth. Or
right. She's very wise. Very wise. I like this a lot.
Telling me I'm wise. I don't know why they think it's all in my ass, though.
So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. And I was about to say something really inappropriate about not and the posterior. That's be bad. We're not going to do that.
Did not do inappropriate.
That is not good radio. So we were talking about getting the word out and not getting the word out and how the word gets spread. And you had said that it's not necessarily about getting the word out. Tell me more.
So what we do is, by its very nature, throwing parties in hotel rooms.
Exactly.
So
and that's a good thing. I mean,
it is.
That's very nice.
There's some reasons we do it exactly the way we do. The analog, kind of legally, is we're having people over to our place for a drink. Right, we're not.
Right.
We are not selling alcohol. We do not sell alcohol.
Excellent.
We do serve alcohol to our friends, like you do when they come to your house, right?
Sure.
And so that limits the physical spaces that we're able to throw parties in.
Okay.
And we had a couple of outlier parties, as I believe you were at one of them at the at the Wyndham, where we were in a bigger space and we put 400 people through a party in a night.
Absolutely. I was the official gravity tester.
Yes,
carry on.
Excellent. Yes, we need those. They're very important.
Occasionally, that's a thing.
I just like to say I'm still unbreakable.
Still unbreakable. Very good.
So, yeah, Unbreakable, that worked out well for you, I believe.
That was him. Not me. I'm not dumb enough. I am not skilled enough. That's a word. To continue on the
we're going to find out.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You're saying that your level of experience is incompatible with calling yourself indestructible?
Oh, no. I've called myself many things. I am sort of the flip side to your coin on the I will pronounce I suffer from narcissistic personality disorder, so I claim the universe as my own personal domain.
Fair enough.
The listeners at home are never mind. Carry on. So getting the word out is not the thing.
Because our space is limited, and a lot of people in town who come to conventions are familiar with BarFleet and the Indecent.
Okay, so when you say getting the word out is not the thing, it's because we have a limited space. We don't necessarily want 8,000 people to converge on it at one point.
Absolutely. What is important is for people to not just know we exist, but know who we are and what we do.
Okay, fair enough.
Because what we do is a fairly specific thing. The organization, National BarFleet Organization, which is really a regional organization, we're in half a dozen cities, mostly in the Midwest.
Correct.
Exists to throw parties at small fan-run conventions.
Excellent.
We do that because we're very symbiotic with small fan-run conventions. We bring in room nights.
Yes.
Because personally, I live 20 minutes from here. If there weren't a party tonight, I wouldn't have gotten a hotel room.
Yeah. Well, and the idea, I live in Fishers as well.
Yep.
And the idea is, seriously, I can drive right back up there in 20 minutes. And the idea of, well, I'm going to drink. I want to drink responsibly. One of the BarFleet mottos is responsibility.
Absolutely.
Security will make sure you get back to your room. Everything is safe. Everything is good. And that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy the organization, is it's all about doing what we do in a responsible, safe, secure, consent-driven environment.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're.
That's one thing I do want to say that was very refreshing. I was at an event, and I guess as a guy, I'm not used to this in terms of someone did something lewd to me, which I was okay with, but someone else said, "Did you have his consent to do that?" And they said no, and they said, "Don't do that." And that was very refreshing. It didn't bother me, but it was refreshing that that's such a priority.
It is, and I started about 3 years ago running panels called Partying Safely at Conventions, and we go in and we talk about how alcohol affects people differently if they are tired, if they are stressed out, if they are dehydrated. All of these things can happen at conventions.
Right.
Hail Hydra. Hail Hydrate.
Hail Hydrate.
Hail
Sorry,
Hydrate.
did that stick out the wrong way? Hail Hydrate. Sorry.
Hail Hydrate.
And also, the 5-2-1 rule: 5 hours of sleep, 2 meals, and 1 shower each day of the convention. Minimum.
5, 2, 1.
5-2-1. 5 hours of sleep, 2
2
meals, 1 shower.
1 shower.
Each day of
That
the
is
convention.
fantastic.
That should be a mandatory pledge
Yeah.
at every convention.
Yeah.
for everyone.
Okay. Now I do apologize. This is the first time this has come to my ears, and it is absolutely amazing. I love. So you got that copyrighted? Is that a thing?
I did not make it up.
Can I spread that around? Is that a?
Yeah, absolutely. There's
I like
Off-World
that.
Designs actually has a shirt that has the 3
That's
icons.
Off-World Designs. I had no idea. I never. Okay.
I don't think they made it up either. I first heard it in 2009 when I was going to Dragon Con for the first time, and someone
Great con.
told me that.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, surely I'll sleep more than 5 hours."
No.
Dude, you don't at Dragon
No,
Con.
not at Dragon Con.
And
No.
that's
Dragon
the
Con
only-
is hard to get a solid 4.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the only part of the rule I ever break. But I break it at almost every convention because
All right.
it's just so fun.
Because it's absolutely, and we're gonna track. I want to track down the origins of that because I want to know where it came from. Who I want to see if I can find that. As far I have an 8-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son, and our number one rule is safety first.
Yep.
That's followed quickly by don't yuck someone else's yum.
Excellent.
Consent is a thing. We're trying to teach the children from a very young age to be open, responsible, and safe.
Yep.
Not necessarily in that order, per se. 5-2-1 is great.
Mm-hmm.
Safe is good. Consent is a great thing. I like John Oliver's boxing
Yes.
metaphor.
Yeah. If both people don't consent, one of them's committed a crime.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Which was great, and I love the tea metaphor about serving
Yes,
someone else
absolutely.
tea. Absolutely fantastic. But I really liked John Oliver's because it's a crime. So someone
Yes.
has perpetrated a crime, and that's not a good thing. And with the culture that we live in, that message needs to get out, especially to young men who it's like, hey, don't do this. But that's a different topic.
It is, but it is. One of the things when I started looking into, because as you know, harassment has been an issue at a lot of geek conventions, not locally but nationally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
It's a discussion that is on the horizon. Absolutely.
It absolutely is. And when I started going to other conventions and looking at their harassment panels and their safety panels, what I continually heard was, "Don't drink, don't dress in revealing clothing." And neither, first of all, as most of us saw going around Facebook this year, that rule boils down to rape the other girl, right? So
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. We didn't. Would you like some victim shaming with your victim shaming?
Exactly, right?
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not go there. That's not the right place to be.
Absolutely. And the concern is about folks who are scared and triggered and saying we can't put the onus on them to shut it down. And I agree with that. But the flip side of that, and what we do at BarFleet, is fairly adult-oriented. We're not naked in the parties most of the time.
Sure.
Although I'm known for dancing around in my bra a lot because it gets really warm on the dance floor.
Yeah, when you have a million people packed into a
freezingly hot
place,
in there,
Yeah.
it's thermally challenged.
The public party tonight is going to be shoulder to shoulder. It's going to be a sauna in there.
Yeah.
It will be warm, yeah. But if you look on the BarFleet.org website, you will see that there is, I forget if it's Class D uniforms or something that's, lingerie. So
there you go.
we don't necessarily agree with, cover everything up, but we don't need to. We expect the people who are in our parties to know what their limits are and communicate those to the people around them. And we will back that up.
Yeah.
If the person doesn't want to take no for an answer, we've got all kinds of people who are going to back that up for you.
Yeah.
But I am not going to draw your line for you.
Yeah.
There are people
let's be adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because there are some people in that party right now that if they walk up and grab my ass, I'm all good with that. I'm going to turn around and give them a hug. There are other people I don't know, and that's not necessarily okay. And in that case, I'm going to turn around and give them an explanation.
And there it is. And there it is.
But it's because of that safety net that I felt so good letting my guard down, letting my line slide out, and having such a great time.
There's a lot of respect amongst BarFleet partygoers. Everybody knows the rules, and everybody, for the most part of the parties I've been to, follows the rules to the letter. And that's a great thing that people can experience at a convention that you don't normally get to experience at larger conventions, say Gen Con or Dragon Con. There's really no safe haven to go and party and let it all hang out and cut loose.
Yeah, there's the smaller scale makes it possible.
Yeah.
The venues that we frequent, we don't throw parties at horror conventions because it's a different crowd.
Yep.
Science fiction conventions and gaming conventions tend to be people who are, for whatever reason, work well with what it is that we do.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I mean, it's a really good. I don't have to have it in the back of my mind where it's like, well, I better worry about this. I don't have to do that, which is fantastic.
yeah, and we work real hard to make that space comfortable and safe, and it is family. You hear a lot of BarFleet people talking about how this is their extended geek family.
Yeah.
And, we take that very seriously.
That's wonderful.
And it kind of builds from the people who show up. It takes a lot of work to do what we do. We have estimated it takes about 250 person hours to throw the two parties that we'll throw at this convention, because we have to go load all of our gear into the van. We have to drive it here. We have to unload it into the room. We have to set it all up. And you guys have been in this party space. It doesn't look like a hotel room anymore.
No, not at all.
And
which is fantastic.
Yeah, and then, staffing the parties, we've got security, we've got medical, which is bartending, we've got intel, which is checking people in, and, we've got engineering taking out the trash. All this stuff is going on almost behind the scenes. It's pretty transparent, I think, a lot of it.
Very much so.
And then Sunday morning, we tear it all down and take it back to the place it lives. So there's a lot that goes into it. We try to make it look effortless. That is not because it is easy, but the folks who are attracted to being a part of this, it is the magic of working next to people you like to do a thing that is awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which doesn't even speak to what I think is the financial miracle of BarFleet, which is, folks, you pay like $25 for the year, and then every con you go to an event, your drinks are free. I mean, they're on the house. I've never been asked for money at the bar.
Right. We do put out a tip jar. We appreciate people who contribute, who feel like they want to support what we do. We do what we call our Orion auction on Saturday nights, which is essentially... You've experienced the auction.
Oh, yes, he's experienced
Who's
the
your
auction.
con? Yeah.
It is indeed a delightful experience. And we're actually the only ship in the fleet that regularly does that. And I think part of that is... because we are so female-oriented, we have the longest-serving captain in the fleet, also the only female captain in the fleet. And if you know the history of the Orions, what people who don't know Star Trek well think is it's Orion slave girls. If you look at the history of that species in the series, it is actually the women who are in charge.
Yeah, they run things.
That slave girl thing is shtick.
Is cover.
Right?
For what's really going on.
Yeah, so the Indecent is the one Orion-class ship in the fleet.
That's awesome.
And so that helps to fund what we do. All of that money goes back into the ship.
Cool.
And there are still, individuals on the ship who bring in their own booze to contribute or build things for the ship and don't, ask for money for that. It's just because it's
a community.
Yeah, it is a community.
A close-knit community.
Yeah.
Which is good. I'm very glad I've joined.
I love this ship.
We are
I'm very
happy to
glad.
have you.
This
It's
is a
a
great
good
ship.
group of people.
Yeah.
So
I see our chief of communications over there. Maybe you'd like to sit down instead of just taking pictures.
Like, I've got a camera. I'm good. Clickety click, click, click. All right, that works.
It
That's
just
how
occurred
this
to me
all
that
works.
everybody at this table right now is BarFleet.
Yeah,
All of us.
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely. So
the best people
what
are.
can Gaming with Scott do
Yeah.
for communications for the ship, for BarFleet, for what do you need? What do you got? What can we give? What can we do for you?
Well,
Okay.
you have already been very helpful in terms of some of the conversations that you've had and that you've publicized with people talking about what we do and what makes it special. The safety, the importance of consent,
I
the
like
importance of responsibility in the parties, the importance of showing up as a grown-up, willing and able to, know what's okay for you and communicate that to people.
Be an adult.
Be a grown-up. Yes. These are the benefits. Yay!
Yay.
The other thing is to support the conventions that we're a part of.
Oh, yeah.
So what we do, we have done this in my 10 years twice. We have done what would otherwise be a convention party without a convention, and it is exponentially harder.
Oh, sure.
Because
sure.
it's hard to find a venue.
Logistics would be
Logistics.
a nightmare.
In- Insurance, all of the extras that you have to. Oh, that's got to be just a pain in the ass.
Finding a venue that will,
wouldn't
because
wanna do
part of what a BarFleet party is we bring in our own stock of alcohol.
Yeah.
We provide our own bartenders to serve it. That is not something most commercial venues are particularly happy with, and that's appropriate.
Because that's
What
where they
we-
make money.
That's
yeah.
their
It
slice of the
is.
pie. Yep.
And there's liability, and so again, the analog legally to what we're doing is we're throwing a party for our friends in space that is our residential space.
Right.
It happens to be a hotel room right now, but that is what we're trying to do. So if we are trying to do this without a convention, it becomes so much harder. And the fan-run conventions being not in the convention center, we're all in a hotel room. Everyone can kind of walk down the hall to their hotel room.
Yeah.
They're not crossing streets. They're not,
Trying to drive home.
We're not trying to drive home. We've put people in Ubers. We've driven people home. We've crashed people out on the party room floor. We do everything that we can to make sure everyone leaving our party is safe. I don't have a magic wand, but it is something we are diligent about.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah. But small fan-run conventions are a world a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand what's different between In Conjunction and Wizard World or Indiana Comic-Con. Why is Starbase Indie a different thing than even Indie PopCon? They're both bringing in actors.
Sure.
Why aren't they the same?
Yeah.
Well, they're not the same. These are all of the fan-run conventions are nobody's making any money. I've been around this world for a decade. Nobody's making any money. The people you think are making money are almost certainly putting their own personal money in instead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the reality of this world. All of these are passion projects. They are things people are doing because they want to build a community, because they are excited about media properties that they want to celebrate. They're excited about ideas. You have to be careful. You get me waxing poetic on the importance of science fiction in our culture.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we imagine ideas before we put them into practice, whether that is a cell phone or, doors that slide open at the grocery store, which is not how the world was when Star Trek first aired.
Yeah,
Heinlein
exactly.
famously and very ahead of his time envisioned a gender-integrated military, which just happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well-
Sci-fi is amazing, and its impact on culture cannot be weighed in how positive that is.
And, Nichelle Nichols on Star Trek.
She was in space. Actually in space. Recently.
Right.
That's fantastic.
And she wanted to quit the show after the first season. And you know this story.
Ding,
And,
ding, ding.
And she turned around at an event where someone said, I want to introduce you to a fan. And it was Martin Luther King Jr. And she told him she had just told Roddenberry she wanted out. And he was horrified and said, oh my gosh, please don't do that. We need you. You are the first character, non-white character in a non-serving role in the media.
Wow.
And said, we need you there.
We need you where
need to
you're at.
continue.
Wow.
And she went back to Roddenberry the next day and went, I'm in.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic. It just like goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like the idea of that's like, let's break these barriers. Let's make the world better. Let's advance us as a people, humanity, Earthlings, not this country, that country, not him, not her, not this color, that color. No, Earthlings as a whole.
Well, we all
humans.
know Carl Sagan's viewpoints that he's so poetically rendered on that kind of subject, right? But, how much, he was formed by science fiction.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And, Arthur Clarke, the military came to him during one of the wars and said, all right, who's your source? Who's telling you what we're developing? And he's like, yeah, no, that's just where the science is going.
That's awesome.
And so, this is all a part of who we are as a people. And that is part of the magic of science fiction fans. They're looking for a way to build our world into something we want to live in. And I think it is no mistake that Star Trek is the property that spawned a lot of these conventions, right? Because it's a new way of looking at the world. These fan-run conventions are not something people understand because they're like, well, who's making it? Who's making money? Why would you do all of this work when no one's making any money? I saw a Facebook post from a friend I know from conventions who was talking this week to her CEO and had a conversation where she explained to him that she oversees more volunteers at Worldcon than he oversees as CEO of their company, and kind of blew his mind a little bit.
That's great.
Right? It's a great leadership lab for people who are looking for a way to take an idea and bring it into fruition. There's a lot of great things about this community. People don't know it exists.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of people out there that have no idea that it is even there. And 4 out of the 4 gentlemen that are here understand the phrase "many hands makes light work."
Absolutely.
We are all Masons. So the idea of volunteering, of helping others, of building a community, of making things better it's something we also do regularly outside of cons and work and family.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
All I have to say is, so mote it be.
And that's a thing. And for those of you that did not know, I joined BarFleet officially yesterday and was given the BarFleet name Illuminati.
Nice.
So I was very happy with that. It crosses several lines that makes me very, very
I'm
happy.
so jelly of your name.
Yeah, I want to change my name.
I
Your
know,
name is
right?
too good.
I'd even take the puncture. I'd be like, Illuminati Junior.
Oh, that's fantastic. This
Illuminati wannabe?
Oh. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I didn't say it.
Illuminati Mark II.
It's like a
new and
larger
improved
warhead.
version.
Yeah. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Well, then, we thank you for sitting down, because when you had said the original, and it was very funny because Mike was like, shouldn't the film be rolling for this? Why, yes, it should. And these are how these interviews happen.
Absolutely.
Because people go, well, because you had said something, getting the word out is not the thing. And I didn't know if it was, well, because we have a communication arm that rivals the Red Square.
This is not what is true, no.
No, and I was like, so what did you mean by, you don't want 8,000 people kicking your door down? I get that. And that's a fantastic thing. It led here. I thank you very much for your time and your understanding. And
if I do one more aside, which I assume we can edit in, we've actually just changed the process for membership.
Yes, I was one of the first
he was
people
one of the first to benefit
to go
from
through.
it. Yeah.
I got emails,
We should
and there
talk
was
about
things,
that
and there
really
was
quick.
feedback.
Yeah, we should
wow.
absolutely
It's
bring
not
this
an
up.
overnight thing.
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
So this is the thing we're doing differently. When I joined BarFleet, when I joined the Indecent 10 years ago, I was walking through this very room and. Right over there,
Nice.
I encountered our captain who said, "Did you have fun last night?" And I was like, "Yeah, I had fun last night. You want to be a part of this?" Absolutely. She's like, $20 a year. And I handed her $20, didn't write my name. She's like, "I know who you are." She was running the convention, too.
Sure.
She's like, "I know who you are." We're like, okay, sure. And I was in.
In nomine
Now-
Patre et Filii et Spiritus
And there-
Sanctus, you're in.
And
There
there
it is.
were, like,
Rub
not
a little ash on your forehead.
20 or 30 people on the ship maybe at that point,
Right.
not a couple of hundred. And I immediately kind of dove in and got to work, and it gets in your blood for some people. The process now is, if you're interested in joining, come to an event, come help out with setup before the event, help out with teardown Sunday morning. That's always a big
plus.
place we need help. And you get great stories at setup and teardown. You really do.
Oh, yeah.
It's that bonding with the other people.
Sure.
And so instead of having people fill out a form in writing at a party where they might be drunk and not everybody has great handwriting, now we're taking that piece of the process completely out of the party environment. It's beforehand. You need a sponsor who's been a part of the ship to be kind of your advocate. We can help you find that person if you don't know anybody.
Sure.
But if you do, we kind of ask that person to step up and help acculture you into the group.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's part of our challenge, is helping people understand what we do.
Yeah, I think I had like 4 people offering to sponsor me at the Hoosier Con.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So
now,
easy.
it's $25,
It is.
and then we're all good, and we're all happy.
For a year.
For a year, and then you re-up for another $25.
Yeah, dues are yearly.
And there's some dues are They're annual, and we do understand that annual means yearly.
Yearly.
Yeah, we got that. It's another insight. It's a Mason joke. It's okay. For those brothers at home, they just chuckled. They laughed. They did.
I believe you.
They heard it. They went,
real
ah.
quick. I just want to say real quick.
Yeah.
I want to remind everyone that I fell in love with BarFleet first. I saw her first, but then I had to drag these guys kicking and screaming. But once I got them to one freaking party, they were hooked for life. So you guys
Yeah.
out there listening, you will have the same, and gals, you
Oh,
will
yeah.
have the same experience.
I had so much fun.
Our next public party will be the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It will be at Starbase Indy. You will need a convention badge to attend.
Yes, you will.
We'll be there.
We will be there
We'll
in
be
force.
there. Yep.
It is worth getting a convention badge. We're celebrating the 50 years of Star Trek this year.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's gonna be a good event. I hope to see you all there.
We shall. Thank you very much. Anybody else got anything you want to jump in? Yeah.
No, thanks for your time. I
Thank
know
you very
you've got
much.
a lot to do tonight. Thank you so
Alrighty,
much.
and as always, from Gaming with Scott, you'll hear from us real soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.